Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're looking into something really fascinating called Project Prime Eden.
We are, and what we have is essentially a blueprint, a full vision laid out in a video
It's a
presentation.
vision for, well, for total self-sufficiency. It's built around producing something the speaker calls life food.
That's right. And for anyone listening, maybe a potential partner, our mission today is pretty simple. We want to distill this big, complex vision down to its core.
Make it simple and clear.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
this is about more than just, advanced biology. It's a real plan for achieving 100% self-reliance by merging some really radical recycling with holistic personal healing.
And the central claim, the thing that drives this whole project, is this idea of achieving true self-sufficiency by growing food that is so nutrient-dense, this life food,
Mm.
that it basically frees you from the traditional food markets, which can be, as we know, pretty unstable.
And that's the key word right there, stability. The presenter frames this whole thing, this commitment to creating hyperfertile soil, as the ultimate stable asset.
Not like Bitcoin, I gather.
He makes that exact comparison. He says soil is the real necessary investment, not these highly volatile assets where value can just poof, vanish overnight. Soil is real. You can touch it.
And it provides sustenance, security.
It's an investment you can literally eat.
So it's both a financial safety net and a health safety net.
Precisely. It's an investment that compounds, not just in financial value, but in the actual quality of your life, cell by cell.
Okay, let's unpack this. I think we have to start at the beginning with the why, the deeply personal reason behind this quest for medicinal food.
We do. And the source material starts with a story of some serious, serious suffering.
The entire project is, it seems, rooted in the speaker's own intense journey.
It is. After a severe car accident, he spent 2 years with just debilitating daily pain. He even mentions a period where he was half paralyzed.
Huh.
And that experience, it forced him to go on this profound search for what he calls medicine, because the traditional routes just weren't enough.
And that search, it really broadened his whole definition of what medicine even is, right? It's not just pills in a bottle.
Exactly. He came to see medicine as this holistic, interconnected thing. He talks about food medicine,
What you eat.
sound medicine, which is how sound waves can heal, moving medicine, physical activity,
Yeah.
and breathing medicine, the absolute core of your life force.
And Project Prime Eden is the foundation for all of that.
He calls it the fundament for all of it. It's about restoring your entire human battery, mind, body, and soul by using only pure focused inputs.
That makes the place itself sound less like a farm and more like a sanctuary. He even calls it an intelligence or a quorum. What does he mean by that?
A quorum is, it's the minimum number needed for a group to take action. So in this context, it's the idea that all the life in the ecosystem, the microbes, the plants, the animals, they have to live in synergy.
They have to work together.
And when you reach that quorum, that critical mass, the system develops its own inherent intelligence. It can protect itself from pests, from sickness, without needing, human chemicals.
So you're not just growing food. You're cultivating a self-regulating ecological intelligence.
Which demands a certain philosophy from the people involved. He really emphasizes this full respect for Mother Nature. Every single step has to be done with truth and integrity.
And with the community in mind, he says, I think about all of you.
Always. The purpose has to be bigger than one person.
Okay, so if the need, the suffering was that intense, then the cure, the food, has to be beyond reproach. How does this project guarantee this superfood quality? What makes it different from, say, a really high-end organic farm?
The promise is a level of quality that it dwarfs conventional organic standards. He operates on what he calls an axioma,
A core truth.
a non-negotiable truth. That food, which is incredibly rich in nutrients, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, that food makes you fundamentally happier and healthier. And the entire project is engineered, right down to the microbes, to guarantee the absolute highest levels of those things.
And he claims he can prove it with lab tests.
That's the claim, yes. That his output is demonstrably superior.
This all sounds amazing, but creating that level of fertility, it's usually incredibly expensive. It takes years.
It does.
And this is where it gets really interesting for anyone looking at this as a partner. Project Prime Eden Seems to flip that whole cost equation on its head.
This is the genius part of the model. The core innovation is how they create this hyper-fertile soil. They use organic garbage.
Garbage, you mean like actual waste, the stuff factories are paying money to get rid of?
Exactly that. He specifies very rich organic waste leftovers from food factories, industrial food waste, food from restaurants and markets that's just past its sell-by date.
So stuff that's currently a huge environmental problem.
He sees it as the perfect raw resource. And he claims the whole process is totally green. No poisons, no chemicals, no synthetic minerals, just the garbage and very specialized microbes.
Okay, walk me through the economic loop here, because this is fascinating.
It is. So right now, companies pay money, it's a business expense for them, to haul this waste to a dump.
Right.
The project's proposal is simple. Instead of paying the dump, pay us. Pay us half price to recycle it for you responsibly.
That's immediate ROI for the project, isn't it?
Yeah.
If a factory pays, say, $500 a ton for disposal, and they can pay Prime Eden $250.
The factory saves money instantly.
And for Prime Eden, the raw material, the garbage itself, is not a cost. It's a revenue stream.
It's profitable from day one. It creates a self-funding economic engine that also happens to clean up the environment and grow medicine at the same time.
But the truly staggering claim is the speed. He says they can process huge amounts, a ton, 1,000 tons a month, in just 10 days. How is that even possible? Normal composting takes months, years.
And that's the technological secret, isn't it? This isn't your backyard compost pile. This is accelerated substrate creation.
Meaning what?
Meaning they use very specific cultured microbial populations in a controlled environment. They've isolated the right microbes to break down the organic matter at an incredible speed. It's more like a biofermentation process.
And the machinery required is surprisingly simple, he says?
Very lean. He says to recycle any volume, you just need 3 main machines. A tractor for moving the material, 2 kinds of grinders, and a granulator for the finished product.
Which is key to his larger strategy. And this is important for partners to understand. He says he doesn't want to be a slave to just one farm.
Correct. His goal is bigger. He's focused on developing the technology and the knowledge, the ideal model with all the instructions so it can be replicated, scaled.
Like a franchise. He even says at McDonald's for high-level private farms.
It's about perfecting the system, not being the guy who runs every single farm himself.
So let's shift to what that perfected system looks like on the ground. The physical space, the intimacy of it. This isn't an industrial business. He calls it an artistic way of living.
Yeah, the vision is for a place of about 10 dunhams. That's roughly 2.5 acres for our listeners. It's big enough for diverse crops, for livestock. They even want to experiment with growing cacao.
Wow.
But it's small enough to feel intentional, to feel like a home, a place of comfort and joy.
And the productivity he describes is just... It's off the charts. He estimates that 6 families could be fully supported, food-wise, by only 2 employees. How is that possible?
It comes back to the system design. The soil is so incredibly fertile, and the systems are so ergonomic and efficient that the amount of effort required just plummets. You're getting maximum output with minimum labor, no constant weeding, no chemicals.
The medicine isn't just in the soil either. It extends to the kitchen. He talks about an alchemic kitchen.
This is where that deep knowledge gets applied every single day. He cooks for his family, his pets, even for the soil itself.
For the soil.
Yes, creating microbial teas and ferments. And for people, he uses these specialized but simple methods. Very low heat cooking, sometimes for 10, 24 hours.
To keep the food alive.
Exactly. To preserve all the enzymes, all the beneficial microbes. He does specialized preservation, souring, using things like specific kefir strains. He's not just making dinner, he's actively cultivating the gut microbiome of everyone there.
And he's willing to share this knowledge.
Absolutely. He knows how hard it is for people to maintain this on their own. So he offers to teach, to open a shared kitchen, to provide this food for the whole community.
It's clear the project's vision is much bigger than just physical health. It's a spiritual sanctuary, a social one. He describes the land as very private, very intimate.
A place for restoration, for silence and peace. He talks about hosting deep healing sessions using sound medicine, sound trips, he calls them.
And this is for specific groups of people.
Very specific. He talks movingly about this being for special needs children, like his own daughter, Akka, and for people dealing with post-traumatic stress. He mentions how relevant this is, especially after the trauma of events like October 7th.
The goal, ultimately, is to reconnect people, especially kids, with the act of creation itself.
Yes. To let them feel the soil, to watch things grow, to give them that visceral sense of being creators, of being winners when they harvest food they help to bring to life.
Now, if we can connect that profound mission back to the financial reality for a moment, this is crucial. He mentions the project can be structured in a social way.
Right, he references something called NUFA paragraph 46.
Terms that won't mean much to a lot of people. So what's the bottom line here? What does that legal structure mean for an investor or a partner?
It's a piece of financial intelligence, really. It's a way to turn an expense into an investment. In that region, this kind of social structure means money you invest in the project can be compensated against your taxes.
Through something called Masaka compensation.
Think of it like a very, very favorable tax credit for investing in a social enterprise.
So instead of money that you'd pay in taxes, just disappearing into the system.
You redirect it. You transform it into a tangible investment in the project itself, in the happiness, the life, the actual physical soil of Prime Eden.
You're taking money that would be wasted and putting it directly into a regenerative, positive asset.
Exactly. It's an incredibly smart loop.
So if we pull this all together for someone thinking about this model, what do we have? It's a unique three-angled approach.
It is. It solves an environmental and economic problem waste to fund a superior biological solution, the soil, which then becomes the foundation for healing your mind, body, and soul.
It's a complete intelligent system.
And the final promise, the ultimate takeaway, is safety. The project offers a way to survive and really to thrive in what the speaker calls a genuinely toxic world.
Whether that toxicity is physical from pollution or institutional or social.
It's about building a protected space, a place where you can relax, restore, and know that you can rely on the integrity of your own land.
And it's about the future.
Ensuring the future. The promise is a foundation, the soil itself, that isn't dying, but is getting healthier and stronger every single year. That means strong children, strong parents, building good health from the ground up.
Which brings us to our final provocative thought for you, the listener. The source makes this profound, almost mystical claim about the soil itself.
He does. He says when he visits other organic farms, even really good ones, the soil or the roots can sometimes make his skin feel agitated, itchy.
But the soil they create in Project Prime Eden.
He says it smells like a forest or even like a pie. He says he can feel the difference, physically, immediately.
So here's the thought. If a toxic environment can leave an immediate physical trace on your body, often one you don't even notice, how much are we unknowingly absorbing from our food, even good food, that just lacks this level of biological and, well, spiritual integrity? This technology promises to bring life back to the dying earth, and in doing that, to bring fundamental, unquestionable health back to all of us.
Thank you for diving deep with us.
Till next time.